What's up, everybody? It's your boy Eric from Easy Computer Solutions, and welcome to another episode of Saturday Night Tech Talk. I got a good one for y'all today. You know, I do my best on this YouTube channel to try to bring y'all guys live people, and it happens to me every time, believe it or not. I got another window open, and I hit myself because of the 5-second delay. But let's get into it. I got my man Ramon from Lifestyle Defined is in the building. What's up with you, man? Look, I get tongue twisted already, man. What's happening? We've been talking for 30 minutes, and all of a sudden we go live on the air, and I'm acting like I'm nervous. I ain't been doing it for 3 years. What's up with you?
Nothing, man. Hanging in. Thank you for the invite. Thank you so much.
Yes. And by the way, if everybody that didn't know, I'm a huge fan of you. I watch your YouTube channel for a very long time. And you keep it real 100%, and that's what we need. We need real YouTubers, man, and you do your thing. So I really do appreciate the knowledge that you bring to the table. And I tell you, both of us got something in common. We are huge Windows fans. And I remember seeing your videos when you used to make Windows, and you used to talk about how passionate you was about being a Windows fan, and all of a sudden they yanked the covers off, and all of a sudden, man,
they killed me. That's like Microsoft did what you found out when your 17-year-old daughter's on drugs.
Yeah,
it hurts your heart.
Hey, and you know what's so funny? It's so funny. The Windows fan, they really deep. They come in my comments and say, man, why you keep on making videos about Windows Day, man? Windows is alive. I said, man, let me tell you something. Yeah. When CEO come on record and say their platform is no longer,
that's it.
That's it. And one of the biggest things I think Windows could have achieved, they just have to, when you're going against Android and iOS, of course you have to fight. You got to crawl your way to the top. The Microsoft Windows ecosystem was beautiful. I love the interface. It was great. And guess what? It performed very well too. You can have 1 gig of RAM, a 1080p screen, and you was good to go. And it kind of reminded me of iOS. iOS was the same thing. You didn't need all the RAM. You didn't need 20 gigs of RAM and all that stuff to make it work. But it was one of those things that man, I don't know.
I know it's a very polarizing topic. I mean, when you look back at it, I always used to describe Windows Phone as being in the middle between Android and iOS. So you had like the Uber optimization of iOS, where you didn't need all these crazy hardware specs because software was just so elegantly put together. Yeah. And then it had more specs than you would have on the iPhone, but it didn't have as much as it did on Android, because Android, you need 8 gigs of RAM just to launch the text messaging app and apparently take a picture on Snapchat. So it was a nice mix of the in between, but you know how that story is. It was apps, and then the controversy behind it was the carriers that ultimately killed it or stunned the growth, I guess you could say.
Right. I want to give a huge shout out to Derek Floyd. He's just started the super chat. Super chat is wide open. I really appreciate your support, Derek, for the super chat. Thank you very much. Now, let's talk about Lifestyle Defined. For all the people that don't know who you are, how did you get started with this? And what is Lifestyle Defined? Even though it's a tech channel, but what is it about?
You asked that question at a very interesting point. The brand's been around for, I would say, 7 years. We started out as a blog. I used to have huge problems sleeping when I was younger, and I was an IT. I still am an IT professional, and I've been at this particular job, the job at the time, for about 8 years. Found myself getting bored. You know what I mean? I was very good at my career, but then I would come home and be like, all right, it's not Friday, it's not Saturday, so you can't just, hit the club with the homies and wild out. So what am I gonna do on this Tuesday afternoon? And I wanted to just have more to do. So we started LD, and the concept behind it was everything that we as men thought was dope. It would be in one place. And my case study was myself, right? I'd watch my habits. I go to the same 3 or 4 websites every day. You go to Engadget, you go to Gizmodo, You might hit Pocket Now. You check XDA developers. I'll go to Complex, maybe some ESPN. So I said, well, why can't I do this? Right. And that was the thought. You had everything. You had technology, fashion, entertainment, all under one roof. And then we were doing well blogging, right? Blogging was a thing to do, but it was so much hard work writing articles and doing SEO and all of that crazy shit. And then he was like, yo, what about just this YouTube thing? And we started, our first video was a Lumia 710 comparison to an iPhone.
Yeah.
On an iPhone. Right. So there was that. There was like, holy shit. We got probably double the amount of views and for sure quadruple the amount of engagement that we would get on the blog in one video of the life course of an article for like months. So like, oh, it's a no-brainer. We gotta go heavy on this YouTube thing. So that's kind of where it took off from.
Yeah, that's good. And so, you know, let's go down and let me show everybody your channel. And I mean, you rocking and rolling over there. I'm gonna share my screen here and boom, boom, boom. And let's see here. Just make sure we got me going. All right, so there you go, man. And I like it. Look, you got that. I always say this. My banners suck. Everybody, I show YouTube channel. They got a dope banner. I mean, your banners.
You got to get this together, man. Listen, I'm out here scratching subscribers. So every little thing that they let me touch, you got to knock it out of the ballpark. You need the banner.
Yeah, and that banner, man, that banner looks good. So and check him out, guys. He right there on YouTube, Lifestyle Defined. He got 6,000 subs. He's supposed to have a lot more. He's supposed to be beating me. I'm almost at 20,000, man. You need to be at 60,000, man, right now, man.
You know, I'm super flattered. I tell you what, the story behind that was kind of like, what up, Albert? The story behind that was kind of we embodied the spirit of the blog on YouTube, which meant we were doing YouTube videos about the new Jordans that came out, the new Lumia, the new iPhone, a new watch, some sunglasses. And I don't know, one day, you know, all the while struggling with like the content and the channel taking off. One day, I'll never forget, we got this comment and the homie said, yo, man, I love your work, but I can't fuck with these sunglasses video. I feel like I subscribe to a basketball channel, but when I get here, they're playing golf. I was on the train going to work when I read that comment. I was like, hold up, like that's wild. That makes so much sense. So since then, we sort of split the channels.
Yeah.
So there's a photography channel, there's a sneaker channel, there's an accessories channel, and then the main channel stays tech. But the interesting part around it is the photography channel will probably pass the main channel at this point, even though it's like 6 months old. And doing a bunch of boring research behind it, it turns out, you know, we were getting subscribers for like 4 or 5 videos that weren't tech.
Yeah.
So we were signaling to the algorithm that, you know, we're not really about tech on this channel. So I had to go in and unlist a bunch of videos and it was just so much work. So that was like a month ago. Now we're like on the uptake. I see the tech videos doing a lot better now.
Yeah.
So, you know, hopefully in time it'll grow. And you know how that is with the YouTube apocalypse.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, YouTube's broken. I mean, hey, man, maybe. But if you look at yourself, there's still so much you can do to improve. And before you can go pointing fingers at something,
yeah,
I feel like you got to find out how much more you can eke out, you know, personally. So,
and you know what? Here's the thing. Same thing about like you look at YouTube as a private company, right? Same thing with Facebook. You know, right. I mean, Zuckerberg sitting in Congress for 2 days, trying to explain about, you know, some stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
And I said this on my last stream. I said, you know, YouTube and Facebook, you don't have to go to these entities. They
absolutely not.
You don't have to be on Facebook. You don't have to you don't have to have a Facebook page. You don't have to. It ain't like it's a you have to be there. And I think people they have to. I think in Congress they was all over the place. They don't know technology. Period.
Congress, they're representing middle America. I hope I don't offend anyone, but largely, I feel like middle America is where the dumbest people on the face of the earth live. It's like a lack of insight from that entire, and maybe not the people, but just the representatives that they choose. Is like you guys, I don't know what that is, but it's hard to explain to people. Listen, you don't have to use this. I know you want to be an egomaniac right now because this is where you want to spend your time. You feel like it should be reciprocated. No, this is Mark Zuckerberg's backyard, and he will play how he sees fit.
Yeah.
If you don't like the way he plays, you don't like the way he kicks the ball, you don't like the color of his ball, then take your ass home. I feel like that's all there is to
it. And you know what? Like some people, our dog, he made a comment. He said the Congress hearing was embarrassing to watch. It was. Look, I'm watching this stuff like for 5 hours, and I'm hearing these guys asking these questions like they don't have no clue about how technology works. They asking them about algorithms, and they don't have no clue of what an algorithm is. They don't have no clue, and they really jumping on the man's back. And I'm looking at Zuckerberg, looking at like, Senator, we don't do that. And I'm like, y'all don't. I'm craziness. Like, it was crazy.
It's like a mockery. And do you watch? You know Leo Laporte?
No, I've heard Leo the name.
Laporte was Patrick Norton. These are old tech TV guys.
Oh, okay. No,
so,
I don't follow them.
Leo Left started a podcast network really called Twit. And he has a guest that frequents that show. Her name's Brianna Wu. Okay. First of all, I like that she's a woman in tech, and then she's also I think she's running for senator, I believe. Mm-hmm. But she's in that political space. And her biggest thing, her mission, which I stand behind, is she wants to educate Congress on technology.
Yeah.
Like the government is so far behind on understanding technology that it's detrimental to our future. And you see, like when the Obama administration was in, they made a lot of interesting things that was kind of like, okay, maybe you guys are beginning to, and then nope, net neutrality goes back. Okay, forget it. Back under the hole we go. So it's a widespread problem. I don't know.
The bad thing about it, in Obama, he used social media. I mean, he used the hell out of social media to gather the troops. I mean, to get people together, to get the younger folks. He really rallied the younger folks together to go out and vote. I ain't gonna lie to you. When I voted during the Obama administration, I never saw so many people standing around a corner voting. I was amazed. That was the first time. Whether or not it was going for Republican or Democrat, it didn't matter.
Yeah,
it was this overwhelming amount of people that was out there voting. That was dope. That was dope. Yep. So at the end of the day, I mean, look, here's the thing about technology. I know technology is our future, and when I look at people like Congress, these old guys in their 70s and 80s, and they have no clue. And they could have asked some of their teenagers or something. I know they got grandkids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Say, hey, what is Facebook?
you know what? That's funny. You know what? As an experiment, try to explain Facebook or Snapchat to somebody who has never seen technology. It's a pretty difficult thing to do. It's like trying to explain to someone what the color blue is. That's never seen the color. Right. Nonetheless, we can't only blame these folks up there because a part of the big issue is the youth, by and large, not interested in politics. It's not a super sexy career field to go into.
Yeah, and
if you have a lack of representation of the youth, then you're going to suffer, and that's what we see in our government, right?
Yeah,
so, there's so many layers to the madness. It's
right.
You get a migraine thinking about it.
So when we talk about tech, when we talk about teenage, the youngins, what do you see? They all carry one phone, right?
One phone.
That's it. This is the phone, or this phone, or this phone. Yeah. That's all you see.
No, 1,000%.
And because the Galaxy S9 come out, right? And one of the things that I like to do, I try to be out in the wild and I'd be going to malls. I'd be looking for stuff like that. I'm looking for a Galaxy S9 in the wild. And right now, I'm happy to report I have not seen the Galaxy S9 in a while.
Really?
Besides me having one.
Really? That's interesting. I've seen one or two.
Yeah.
But I mean, they look like me, right? Losing their 30s or 40s, and you ain't ever seen no woman with a Galaxy. Like, no. What? No.
Yeah, you got an iPhone.
I got time for that. It's so bad right now. And I have this conversation on my channel a lot where wait, can I cuss? I've been cussing all over.
Yeah.
If you guys ever see my channel, there's one phrase that's synonymous with my channel, and that's fuck Apple. Let me tell you. I wake up in the morning and I sit on the edge of my bed for a few minutes and I think of something clever to bash Apple about on Facebook before I get in the shower. But that's just me. I just enjoy that. But a lot of people don't understand. Android, I don't know where or who's buying these phones with these numbers. But when I get on the train in the morning and I'll probably see in a 20-foot vicinity of where I am, I can probably come across maybe 200 to 250 people in my commute in a day. And I do the same thing you do. I always look over to see what they're doing, which is how I know iPhone users are retarded. If you ever see an iPhone user, they unlock their phone, right? And they do this. They scroll left, they scroll right, and then they turn it off. What are you doing? What are you doing? You didn't get a notification. Nothing changed. There's no live tiles on your phone. Like, people are just addicted to their iPhones. So that's how I discovered that. And what I will say is iPhone is by far the most popular phone out there. And I've seen teenagers, to your point, if I see a teenager or a young person, if no 15-year-old is going to afford an iPhone 10, but you better believe he got an iPhone 6.
Yep, iPhone SE.
Holding on to it, right? iPhone SE. So, yeah, it's a thing.
And you know what's so funny? When I go to my daughter's school when she had their events and all that stuff like that, and when you're in a big crowd of teenagers and you look around and all you see is iPhones, and they FaceTiming each other. I'm telling you, that's the craze right now. That the teenagers, they got the iPhones, and now since we're talking about iPhone, yes, the new Ray when this came out. And so funny, the teenagers knew the Red iPhone was coming out before the tech people, because my daughter's like, hey, daddy, the Red iPhone coming out this weekend. I'm like, how you know? The Apple people know this stuff already. The teenagers already know. I mean, the Red iPhone came out last year. What the teenagers want? They want the Red iPhone, right?
It's a disturbance in the force. She felt it.
And so now the new Red, and I'm gonna tell you, it's gorgeous, son of a bitch, man. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Nice.
Woo! It's a pretty. Yes, we all know that it's a Red iPhone.
Yeah.
But it just does something to people that the people that's so addicted to Apple.
Yeah.
That when they see something new from Apple, they go run out and they go get it. So yeah, the Red iPhone will probably be a lot popular than last year's Red iPhone, because this one is pretty.
Yeah.
But hey, we about 6 months from the new iPhone. So
I don't know what to call that thing. The iPhone almost 10.
Yeah. Well, no, Apple gonna do it this time. They gonna come out with a big one, because the number one complaint about the iPhone 10 is the size.
Yeah, it wasn't big enough.
It wasn't big. They want the iPhone 10 to be big. They want it like this. So I think you're gonna see that on the next iteration of the iPhone. New internals, of course. iOS 12, obviously they say they're gonna clean it up, so you're not gonna see no new features. And you're gonna see an iPhone 11 or maybe 10X, and it's gonna be a big one, and they're gonna sell the shit out of it.
I don't know. Apple's in an interesting state right now. I had to explain this to a colleague of mine the other day. This is not a good Apple, and what I mean by a good Apple is if you look through the history books, after they fired Steve Jobs and they brought him back, the first thing he did was he looked at, we're selling what? Nah, get all of that. Get rid of all of that. He scratched so many SKUs off the list. Listen, we're selling too many things. Yeah. We have no direction. We don't know what our company is about. No, stop it. Done. And then after that, it was about focusing meticulously on design. So much so that design would often trump form for them, or functionality, I should say. And here in today's Apple, when you walk in an Apple store, it is mind blowing the amount of phones. There's an iPhone SE.
Yeah.
There's an iPhone 6S.
Yep.
There's an iPhone 7, a 7S. There's an iPhone 8, and there's an iPhone 10. How the fuck am I supposed to know what to buy? I get overwhelmed when you go into the pizzeria, you get your pizza, and I want a soda. And you go to the soda section, and this too much. This, I don't know. Yeah. All I want to see is a Sprite or a Coke. They got iced tea. They got I get confused. I'm too simple for that now. And I feel like where they are now, not only are they losing that, right? There's way too many SKUs, but on top of that, like, they're getting sloppy with the design, which is the cornerstone of their brand. That camera hump on the back, the way the iPhone 10 sits on the desk is atrocious.
Yeah.
The notch annoys the bejesus out of me, but it's passable because we know why the notch exists in an iPhone, right? They went against the last trend, the trend they've been on for years, which is thinner. Now all of a sudden the X is thicker. Whoa, hold on, homie. You don't get a pass on that. You don't get to sell me on you and what you do and then all of a sudden change it up when I'm not looking. Like that, you get rid of the home button, which my mom doesn't have an iPhone X, and I'm dreading the day that she goes out and buys something like it because there's no home button.
Right.
Not only does that drastically change that habit that people have of just hitting the home button, but now there's some UI changes in there that, sure, as a 30-year-old man, or 20-year-old, 15, you can catch it. But what about everybody else?
Right.
What about our senators? What are they going to do without a home button? Like, these are things that Apple would have never been when Steve Jobs was around. And it's crazy because it doesn't matter. Do you see that market price?
Yeah, $1,000.
So then it's just, I don't know. Apple's in a weird space right now.
Well, I think just to be honest with you, the iPhone 10 or the iPhone X is a beta product. Because if you look at, they come out with just to test the waters to see how people gonna react. A lot of people didn't like the notch in the beginning, but I think Apple's clapping because here go Android. All Android phones coming out with notches. So Apple is saying that this iPhone X was a success because they copied it.
Yeah. So and it sucks because, first of all, on my channel, I have been ranting about this. Maybe not to the extent that some people would like to see me do it, but listen, the truth here is Apple has a very real reason why that notch is there. Yeah. And the reason that it's there, I think, sort of trumps the issue with the functionality. Mm-hmm. That's okay. I will live with that. But you look at something like that, Huawei, what you got a notch for? You got a standard, I don't care if it's a 20 megapixel. Currently, that's what it is. I don't care. It's doing nothing else. You don't need a notch. And then, like you said, Apple sits back like, yep, told you. Like that bothers me, man. That really bothers me.
Hey, so I'm gonna tell you what you're gonna see. You're gonna see the Nexus with the Google Pixel 3. Right?
Oh my God, I'm gonna jump out the window after these.
You're gonna see a notch on the Google Pixel, man. We like OnePlus 6 that's coming out next week after next.
Yep.
Notch.
It's okay. Just tell me. Make me feel better. Tell me the reason that this thing is there. Like, what do you got? Like, do you have a barometer, air barometer measure in there? Like, what you got going on, homie? Tell me something. Like,
look, Albert said it too. He said the LG G7, which they scanned to release this phone, by the way. LG like showed it off and then they pulled it away, showed it off and pulled it away. That thing, it has a notch and a chin.
You see what man? There's a bunch you can say to that. Like, you know what? You guys just failed. You failed at life. That's all that just happened right there.
And you know what's so funny is, having at least Apple have the notch but they got full screen, no bottom, nothing. Nothing at the bottom is all screen,
which is the way it's supposed to be.
Right. But no, we got ASUS. Listen. I saw the ASUS keynote address, and it was perfectly saying that our notch is 33% smaller than the iPhone notch. And I'm like, what the?
Measuring notches.
Why are you even?
All right, cool.
Then they put a chin in, so you got a notch and a chin. What all they got to do is just make some adjustments with the screen and kill the notch. But no, Huawei did it. They say, you know what? We're going to give you the notch, but if you want to get rid of the notch, we're going to give you software to get rid of the notch.
Right. That's the same argument when people, when Apple was like, oh, no headphone jack for you, but here's a dongle. Then if you give me a dongle, why are you touching my jack? Right? It's the same thing. Like if you're going to come up with a hardware fix, then just don't put it in there. How about you have your engineers do something worthwhile with their time, then design a way to magically make the notch disappear? I don't know. I would just love to get to the point in my YouTube career where I could sit in a room, I could be a fly on the wall with these people and be like, tell me what you was thinking. Right? Because you got more money than me. Maybe you're smarter than me. I don't know. But I feel like there's something I'm missing when these decisions is being made. Show me the data you have. Show me the demographic you're going after, and help me understand the decisions you made. Because I swear a lot of these OEMs just wake up and do shit on purpose. Like, oh, let's measure the notch. Well, ours is 30%. You know what? Keep the chin so we can say that our chin is also 15% smaller than the competition.
So, all right. So in 2018, this is the, every year is these trends. So in 2017, it was the start of the notch. And 2018 is the notch.
Is the notch
of the notch.
Is the notch.
Now, Samsung hasn't followed that yet, but I've heard a rumor, and it may not be verified, that the Galaxy S10 possibly may have a notch.
Boy, I'm going back to Windows Phone. I am out.
All right, you think about this. All right, so let's think about this for a second. If all your flagships in 2018 got notches except Samsung, and if you got the Pixel come out with a notch, OnePlus 6 come out with a notch, then in 2019, I believe Samsung gonna do the notch.
You know what? that is sound logic, and I'm just jump out the window now. But what I can say is, if we look a little bit, if we equate that same thing to the headphone jack, I thought the headphone jack would not have been on the S9.
Yeah,
and I'm surprised that it is. So hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully they don't do it.
Well, I mean,
again, even if they did, then you better have ripped off this Face ID thing that Apple's got going on. Then it's okay.
Well, Samsung did it, right? I mean, iPhone got an emoji. Samsung has AR. What is that?
Yeah, the AR emoji thing. It's creepy. Every time I send people that shit, they're like, "What the fuck? What is this?" It looks weird.
Yeah. And so I think once we get into and look, since we got Elbert in the building, Elbert is a huge OnePlus fan. I got a big question, Elbert, since you're in the building. What's wrong with OnePlus now? Now I've gave OnePlus a pass finally after giving us 6 months incremental updates, right, with a new phone. OnePlus is going to a 4 month, 3 month incremental update. They just released a OnePlus 5T in December, and now they're about to release another phone 4 months into the year. What is up, Albert? Let me know down in the comments, why is OnePlus is going to drop a OnePlus 6 in 4 months?
But they didn't. They're on that cycle, right? Because I know a lot of people was upset last time around.
Yeah, I thought they was on the 6 month cycle, but
not in the 4 month cycle.
Because we've heard that the phone is being revealed on the 29th or the 30th, I believe, or something. I don't know.
But they don't keep the phone. Like where can you buy an older OnePlus phone?
No, they discontinue them, and that's the thing. You buy a OnePlus,
that's okay.
They discontinue them. So the OnePlus 5T after 4 months probably will be discontinued. So now we're gonna have a OnePlus 6 come out, and we already know it's gonna be the Oppo R5 or 5, whatever that phone came out. Yeah. That's gonna be the same design, But I mean, OnePlus is on a. So I think it. Okay, so the OnePlus 6 gonna come out at the end of this month, going into the beginning of the next month. Are we gonna get a OnePlus 6T in September?
I'll tell you what, you're gonna get a OnePlus 6C for Christmas. The way they're going. But what did it usually, if I remember correctly, it's usually the same display, but it's a bit more RAM.
Yeah.
Is that usually the only difference?
Yeah. What they do is
maybe battery increase.
Yeah, I think what they do is I think a little bit of battery increase, but I think OnePlus incremental updates is new processor, and they go for the 6 to the 8 gigs of RAM. They went to the 8 gigs of RAM. Look, we heard rumors that OnePlus go through 10 gigs of RAM in the phone. Now they basically stock Android, so I don't see they try to win the spec war. That's what OnePlus.
Oh, you need the extra 4 gigs to run Snapchat.
Yeah.
Dick pics on Android is still a problem, sir. Still a problem.
So look, it was so funny. I actually ranted about this a lot of times about software updates. People be killing me talking about, easy. What did you keep talking about software updates? I mean, look what Samsung did though. I mean, the Galaxy S6 come out, and then all of a sudden the Galaxy Note and the Galaxy S8 all of a sudden get Android 8.0. And I said to myself, man, Samsung do this every year. So people that get the Galaxy S9, you already know your next iteration of Android is way this time next year. Yeah. So don't think about it.
I'll tell you what. I believe this. We're in a different space. We're not in Consumerville. Like I said, I feel like Consumerville knows better. They buy iPhones. Now, anyone that went out there and bought an Android phone, you might have done so under false pretense. You learn your lesson, you're back on an iPhone. So the people who are buying these phones should be responsible for doing your research. And your research says Samsung is going to give you an almost perfect phone, but they will not update that shit. And if you can live with that, then it's all good. And if you can't live with that, then don't buy it and then don't start complaining. But I will say, I remember having my, get ready for this, my Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge Plus.
Woo, great phone.
My God, that thing was amazing. That shit was so dope. I couldn't even use it because you remember how thin the edges was. You like touching the shit on the. And I was like, yo, the phone was starting to degrade a little bit, slow down a little something. I was like, all right, cool. They got to give me this new version of Android. And then I remember waking up and Samsung is on the stage announcing the 7. I said, yo, what the fuck? Where's my update? Where's my update? And then from that day on, I had to know in the back of my head, I went out and bought the Nexus, the 6P, and had that for a while. And I enjoyed it. I rooted it. There's something you can't do with Samsung, apparently. Still can't do it to this day. And I enjoyed the new Android update. And I sort of, you know what? A lot of the new features in Android are dope, but there was nothing groundbreaking that would steer me away from the just brute beauty of the Samsung.
Yeah.
So now I'm in this space where, all right, I'm going back to the Samsung because it's just beautiful to hold.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's important to me. And it can still send some text messages. I'll get on Instagram and search some hashtags, and I'm okay with that. Whenever Samsung push through the update, I can live with it. But this is what happens, right? They announce. I got first of all, okay, Google works on my phone without plugging it in. So that's something new, right? Because only Pixels used to do that. So I was like, oh shit, this is a win. Right off the bat, the Galaxy 9 is amazing. And I see them out here talking about notes about the new Note 8 coming out early. And in my head, I'm like, oh, okay, well, there's that Android 8.1 that I'll never get on my Galaxy. Right? This is what it is, man. People can't be perfect. I don't know what their engineers are doing, but it ain't that. It ain't upgrade. They don't give a shit about updates. So I don't know.
You know what? And you bring a good point. That I say this on record. I say this: the Galaxy S9 is probably the best speedy Samsung phone I ever had. Yeah, I mean that phone flies. That phone performs very well.
It's fast.
It's fast. It's as fast. It's as fast as a Pixel. I mean, that phone is fast. Now, here's the thing: what everybody always say, what happened over a long period of time, and how what a long period of time. Obviously they put a lot of maintenance things that you could do in Samsung devices that you could kind of clear out the cache and stuff like that. But the argument is over time, 6 months from now, what will happen to that Samsung device, especially with the Galaxy S9, especially if it's going to be stuck on Android 8, because it's not getting Android 8.1, it's not getting Android 9.
You're going to die with that shit on that. You might be lucky if it don't somehow revert back to Android 3. But what I will say is I upgraded. First of all, it's easier for us in the US because I don't pay shit. Essentially don't pay for the phone, right? We pay the monthly fee for the phone. So if you're paying the monthly cost, then why the fuck would I not upgrade when a new one comes out? Just go get the new phone and enjoy the new version of Android. But the last I had the Galaxy S8 Plus, and if that's any indicator, to the day I took that phone back, the battery life was still great and the performance still never took a dip. So I don't know if that's a good is the S9 going to be the same? I don't see why it shouldn't. Let me tell you, that S6 Edge sucked 2 days after. That phone, goddamn, that phone was just terrible. Like a week after, it just started to act up. And I haven't seen that behavior since. So I want to believe that Samsung kind of nailed it. They know what they're doing now, hopefully.
Well, here's the thing. I think this would help the Galaxy S6. Galaxy S9 out, right? The Galaxy Note, smooth as butter, no problem, no hiccup, nothing with the Galaxy Note 8. 6 gigs of RAM. I think Samsung been kind of needing 6 gigs of RAM with all that heavy software that's on top of Android. They need that. They need 6 gigs of RAM. And we're hearing rumors now about the Galaxy Note 9 about 8 gigs of RAM. Now, here's the thing. I don't think Samsung will do it for the US. I think 8 gigs of RAM will probably be in the overseas market. It's going to be a special edition. A lot of people keep on pounding me, telling me that in the US, the Galaxy Note 9 is going to have 8 gigs of RAM. I don't think so. I think Samsung, if you look at Samsung history, they went 4 gigs for forever.
Yeah.
Then they went 6 gigs, and now they're on 6 gigs. They're going to go at least a couple of generations with 6 gigs of RAM before they go into the 8 gig of RAM configuration. Yeah. And the reason why is because of cost. The Galaxy Note 9 the Galaxy Note 8 right now is $979. It's still high as hell. So when you're looking at the Galaxy Note 9, that phone gonna be way over the $1,000 price point. So
people gonna pay it.
Yeah. So you look at the Galaxy Note 9 at a $1,099 price point. Then if you talk about 8 gigs of RAM, then you talk about the Mate 10 Pro. What is that? The P20 Pro price.
That's such a dope phone. It's a $1,200 phone, though, is it not?
Yeah, it's $1,200 phone.
Fuck out of here. I don't care if you put 6 cameras on that bitch.
Yeah,
nope.
Let me tell you something. It's very, very expensive. So the Mate, so the Huawei P20 Pro, I looked it up on eBay. And it goes from $1,299 to $1,499 imported US. So that's a $1,500 phone. Now, listen, man, I thought Apple had the highest phones, and I know that Huawei got the Porsche edition, but you got to give me a break here, $1,200 and $1,300. And you know what? But that's the trend. That is the trend right now. We starting to see, and I'm gonna tell you, the Galaxy Note 9 is going to follow that trend at the upper tier of $1,100, and then you're going to see the next generation of iPhone is going to be upper tier to be $1,199 to $1,000 price point. So I think we're here. I think the $1,000 price point for flagships is here.
This was a topic I had on the channel a while back. I was being, I don't know. I don't like to play devil's advocate. That's too civilized. I like to be facetious. I'm a real life troll. So the video was, well, let me get this straight. You guys would go out and spend $2,000 for a laptop. And that's being generous, right? Most people don't want to spend more than $800 for a laptop.
Right.
and you would come home and you would touch this laptop probably once a week. If you're not a content creator, right? But you wake up with this computer in your pocket. It's next to your nightstand. It wakes you up. It plays your Kanye and your Jay-Z. It gets you to your Snapchat, your Instagram. It ignores the text messages from your boss and your girlfriend. It does all these wonderful things every waking moment of the day. And you're telling me you're not willing to pay $2,000 for that, but you'll pay $2,000 for the one that's at home, that's much bigger, does arguably the same thing, and you touch once a week? I don't know. And then, of course, there's the topic of margins on the other side of the argument. These phones probably cost like $250 to make.
Right.
So where you come in with a $1,200 phone, my guy, I'm not pulling up my calculator to do the math, even though I've got plenty of RAM on my Galaxy S9. But I got to imagine that's a pretty good markup. You didn't have to do like that. And this is Apple. This is, again, another example of, we talk about headphone jacks and notches. This is another example of these fuckfaces chasing Apple and everything that they do. Do you think it's okay? Nobody's buying that iPhone 10.
Right.
And I see more iPhone 8s by a landslide than I do that iPhone 10. Even the iPhone people are like, yeah, okay, you better do something better than that, right?
And that's the whole thing. That's the thing. Like, you know, when you look at the wow, you're going to see iPhone 8s. You don't see a whole lot of iPhone 10. And the reason why is because most people that's coming from an iPhone 7 Plus is not going to this tiny thing. It's too small. So you're looking at the difference here. That's huge.
That is a huge.
That's a huge difference there. So a lot of people did not go in with this. Now, the reason why we as techies love it, because hey, I mean, it's a first device, it's a new thing. So us techies love it. Average consumers say, hey, the A plus, give me that one. I don't know about this little tiny thing. I like big phones. Apple's gonna probably come out with a big phone that's gonna compensate for that, but it's gonna cost a big premium price. I think Apple's gonna.
There we go. You know they're gonna do it.
And so let's get into some of these comments. Shout out to Ace. Listen, Ace, I'm seeing all your comments. And look, I see you put in the comment fake news. Hey, man, this ain't fake news, man. This opinionated. And look at the facts. Hey, we've been speaking facts all day. Let's talk about the facts here. The facts here that the $1,000 phone is here. That's not disputable. That ain't fake news. The next thing, the notches is here. That ain't fake news. It's here. So the things we speaking is all truth. It ain't nothing about fake news. And we're not slamming Samsung. We're just speaking the truth about Samsung. Think about it. When do they update their phones? That's a fact. That ain't fake news. So when we talking about it is real. It's not fake. Let's see. Let's get into some more here. Let's see. The screen costs $130 on the iPhone X. Well, Samsung sting them for it. Look, obviously Samsung sting Apple for them screens. That's why Apple is kind of saying, you know what, LG, come here. Can I get that screen for about $20? So
that's probably happen that way too. And then they're gonna tell me, you know, we're not producing any more OLED screens because it's just not accurate enough for us. Never mind what we said last year. We were off our rockers last year, but this year's new screen is the most accurate ever because it didn't come from Samsung, right? They might as well just out and stop pointing fingers at each other at this point. But
yeah, so it said my coworker has an X. I use it a bit. Okay, shout out to Samuel in the building. Let's see. Albert said replacing costs is more than the entire 5T. And you know what? You're right. Replacing the iPhone, if you crack the back or crack the front, it's going to cost way more than the iPhone. I mean, than the OnePlus 5T.
Yeah.
Joe said, "Is this Flossie Carter?" Obviously, you never saw Flossie Carter before because this guy is not Flossie Carter.
I don't know, son. Brooklyn's Brooklyn, though, so I appreciate the compliment. Yeah. You probably went like 2 blocks from you. Yeah. I see the man out Ace's comment. You know what? You're right. You're 1,000% right. I misspoke there. I said you can't root Samsung phones. You can indeed root Samsung phones, but you are not getting a custom ROM on it.
Right. Because
you know, one of the things I left out about my history is I'm a retired moderator, but I was an XDA moderator for many years. So a lot of the Windows Phone chefs and developers I knew. A lot of like Chainfire and these guys, a lot of these dudes that wrote these things I know. And it just pains me to this day that, I'll send them, yo, can you fix my goddamn Samsung? And they're like, nope, sorry, can't do that one. I need the phone, right? And that annoys me. That's what I mean by you can't root it, but you're correct. It is fake news because you can root the phone. But to me, the point of rooting the phone is to get, to replace all of that bloat with a nice lean ROM, and we can't do that. And that's the number one thing that I hate about Samsung phones, because it would be perfect at that point.
But let me ask you this question, though. If you got a Pixel 2 XL, can you make a Pixel 2 XL look like a Galaxy S9?
Why the I don't even think anyone ever thought about doing that. That's like Bada Faria was like, can I figure out how to make this shit look like a 7? Yo, can you get some of this Italian leather up out of this? Bring some cloth down here. Let me see what I can do.
Nobody would want to do that. No, you're right. I don't think nobody made a custom around to make it look like a Samsung device. You're right.
But Samsung, in all fairness, though, Samsung's themes are pretty good.
Yeah,
they've got like the dark theme, and so you can get rid of that super cartoony look right out the box, which is often what I do. But yeah. So you think Google ever come back with the Google Play Edition devices? Because I mean, it worked for a minute. And help me understand. From what I understood about that was Google's flag to OEMs: stop your bullshit. Yeah, especially Samsung. Stop putting your intensive UIs over Android, because as it is, we can't get Android right, and here you come with your thing. I thought that's what that was all about, and I feel like in today, Samsung's living proof of this. You can have all types of garbage over the UI and the phone still be smooth. So I don't really see a reason to have a Google Play edition of anything anymore, unless it's a lower end spec. And this is what we have, the Android One
plan. Yeah, Android One.
So I could be wrong there, but that's how I saw that. I don't know.
I mean, so I always tell people this: if you're coming from an iPhone and you want to go to Android, people always say, well, go out and run and get a Samsung device. Ooh, you know, that's I don't know if I agree with that too much.
It's not the same experience.
Yeah, because you coming from a stock experience to a very high intensive experience. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, you got the Motorola devices. They give you kind of stock Android.
The Motos are dope.
Price, right? So the Motos are dope. I mean, you can look at a Pixel, Pixel XL2. That's pretty dope. Stock Android will give you updates, timely updates, and you're gonna be okay for the next 4 years and 3 years. So I don't know. I look at, if you're coming from iOS and you want to try out Android, I'm not sure about a Samsung device. I'm leaning towards more of a stock Android, Moto. You don't have to pay too much for Motos these days. So even if you try out a Moto with the stock experience and you don't like it, you can always go back to iOS. It's not a big loss.
True.
So that's what I always say. Elvis said there's Xiaomi Mi A1. Here's the problem about Xiaomi phones and Huawei phones. In the United States, those phones is not available. For what I understand, I never saw a Xiaomi phone sitting at Best Buy, or you can't go to either. See, the biggest problem in the United States for everybody that's watching, y'all know this, the average consumer goes to a carrier or they'll go to a Best Buy. The average consumer is not going on Xiaomi's website and ordering a Xiaomi phone. Because first of all, they can't even pronounce it or spell it. Listen, I'm giving a lot of people credit because I can't. If I can't see it, I can't spell it. Xiaomi, I don't know. I can't spell it. And look, Amazon also. A lot of people don't do Amazon too much. So when it comes down to phones, usually the average consumer will walk into a carrier store and they will buy something right there, like an iPhone or possibly I'm not sure. I think
Samsung. That's literally it, because that's all there is to carry it. And T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon. You got to hunt to find something other than a Samsung or iPhone.
Right.
Maybe in the back corner by the you know how Jerry used to run out of the hole in the wall.
Yeah.
Maybe if you check back there by the mouse hole, there'll be like an LG V something sitting back there. But you don't want that. If it's in the back of the store, I'm not buying it. That's Consumerville 101. That's what happened to Windows Phone. I'm not buying nothing that it's in the back of the store. Hell no.
Hey, let's talk about LG. I mean, that's got to be the most mucked up company right now in the mobile division is LG. Let's talk about LG history. The reason why LG is failing. Let's go all the way back to the LG G4.
Oh shit, you wilding. You said failing. You stirring up some emotions. The LG dudes don't play.
I know. Listen, I got a big community of LG fans, but let's put the truth out there because I make a lot of LG videos. LG G4 would piss a lot of people off about LG, and this is why I think LG's kind of chilling a little bit, not releasing the phone. LG G4, you had a big old thing about boot loops, right? They fixed it, but boot loop issues, right? That was the LG G4. LG G5, they tried to change it up with modular. That didn't work, so they scrapped the whole thing. They didn't come out with no friends. They didn't do anything. So everybody that got hooked on the LG G5, they lost out. Then here we got the LG G6, right? Beautiful phone. I gave it high marks. I said one of the best phones of 2017, right? But here's a problem. This phone is still stuck on Android 7.0, not 7.1, not 7.2, 7.0 with last year's security patch. So now we got the V30, and then we came about the V30S, the V30 Pro, the V30 Plus, the V30 this. And then we got the LG G7 Cube Thin that's kind of lurking out like they're scared to release it. So,
damn.
That brings me to my point of what's wrong with LG. I mean, the LG G6 is still stuck on Android 7.0 with last year's security patch. Not, and we have almost 5 months into the year. This is what LG is doing to their customers. Now, they got a big community. I know. I trust me. I make a lot of. As soon as I make an LG video, my views go up to the roof.
That happened to me on the channel too. I said some dumb shit about them. I mean, it was all factual, but I was trolling. Fuck them. Right, but it blew up. People was like, "Fuck you!" Like, what? Where did you come from? I didn't even know like LG fans existed. Like, I found out that day.
But the thing about it is, it's the truth. LG, for the last 4 generations of phones, have really sticked it to their customers. Ouch. And it's just the truth. And I love LG. Listen, LG G6, I use this phone to film a lot of my videos because it's just that good when it comes down to the cameras, the manual, the mics. I mean, everything about it.
Got a pretty good codec in there too, right? For video.
Good. Yeah, and so, but the problem is LGs don't give it no TLC. It's nothing, no updates, no security patches, no nothing. It just yanked the cord on it. It's gone.
I wonder why that is. Are there a smaller company than HTC? I would imagine not, right?
I think LG is up there. I think way better than HTC because HTC is losing millions. They just posted their quarterly results and they are in the mid-tens of millions of dollars worth of debt. Losing as far as with their product right now. But I mean, LG in the mobile division, somebody's sleeping at the wheel.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a similarity to what we see over at Sony, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Sony's kind of almost in the same boat where like these companies who make their ends meet in other areas and just happen to have a mobile phone as well. The mobile business kind of almost plays second fiddle, right? Like, we'll get around to it. It's almost like a portfolio bullet point for them. And look, we sold 10 V10s the other day. See, out there, we balling, right? I don't know, because to be honest, I haven't gotten much into LG because they never really did much to stand out to me personally. The one dope thing I can remember about LG ever doing was breaking the mold and having that second camera be a wide angle camera as opposed to the ignorance that everyone else was doing. But other than that, LG never came to mind as to a brand that stood out for any single reason.
Right.
So I never really got into them, but a lot of what you're saying, I could copy and paste that conversation and apply it to Sony. Like, what the hell is wrong with Sony? Like, their phones are dope. It's almost like they go the extra mile to make the perfect product and just don't print flyers and stick them up. Like, does anyone know this phone exists? You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. It's strange.
Yeah, and so let's see. I got my LG G6 right here. I want to show y'all this. All right, so look at that. It's running Android 7.0 with December 2017 security patch. That's it. This is the latest update.
It's got more battery life than my Galaxy S6 Edge right now. I just want to make that. I just want to point that out.
I mean, come on, man. I mean, you got to be kidding me here. We on Android 8.1. We on security patch March, April security patch, right? Yeah. And this phone is still running 5-month-old security patch. The oldest operating. Listen, to put this in layman's terms, Android 7.0 came out in September of 2016.
Damn.
So this is a 2016 software that's running on this phone. And because I believe Android 7.1.1 is kind of leaning toward 2017 updated software.
Yeah.
But when you look at the LG G6, which is a great device, I gave it a lot of high marks, but I'm dinging it. I'm dinging it because there's no TLC with the device. It's like LG just pulled the cord on the phone. The same thing with the LG G5. I mean, the thing is done. And so, I mean, LG fans, they just need to be hashtagging LG. Get up off your butt and do some work.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's what it is. Let's see. Let's get it to Samuel said, no way, LG makes appliances too. They're way bigger than HTC. Yeah, HTC is kind of in the dugout right now.
Thank you for that, because I'm in New York. I live in an apartment. I ain't buying no damn fridge. I pay rent. They better give me a fridge. But you're right, though. Every time I go to I get lost in a Best Buy or some crazy shit, and you end up in the appliance section.
Yeah.
LG is in there. You're right. LG is in there.
Let's see. Albert said LG need to get on the Android One bandwagon and retain the dope camera. Yeah, I mean, one thing I can tell you about LG phones is the cameras are the truth. The cameras are there. So there's nothing wrong with the camera. The cameras are there, but the software and the TLC, the security patches, and everything in between is not. Let's see. Tech Lover says that last time me and my wife had an iPhone, it was that S Note 4 that came out. Since then, we have no complaints. We like the freedom that provides. Tell me what I can do now besides coming back to that
iCult.
That iCult.
I like that, the iCult.
Well, I mean, the thing about it, once you get on the iPhone, it works. You got accessories, you got a foundation, you got an ecosystem. You're on Apple Music, you got iTunes, you got all kinds of stuff. See, Apple has that ecosystem. Once you buy Apple iPhone, you go get the EarPods, and once you get the EarPods, you go get the Apple TV. If you go at Apple TV, then AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile will send you the Apple Watch. They're gonna tell you, hey, ain't number 10 extra bucks. Just put it on your plan. Now you got an Apple Watch with LTE. So once you get hooked up in the ecosystem, and then I didn't know this happened, but these teenagers, they told me that they say if you don't have a green bubble when you text them, they don't answer you back. You got that same issue? Like if you texted somebody on the Android phone and they do it on the iOS.
I don't have that issue because I've been in a relationship for 5 years, but let me tell you, that is a real thing.
That is a real thing.
That murders your dating life. You meet this young lady at the club, and you do your 1-2 step to Drake, and she's impressed and give you her number, and you text her that night, and your bubble is not the color of an iMessage, and you are fucked. Or sorry, you will not be fucked. Like I've heard women legitimately be like, yeah, nah, Like, you'd be like, wait, what level? Like, we're still fighting racism. Now we got to fight like
Apple bubbles.
Like, what? Like, no, that shit is real. Like, people will shame you People will shame you.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
People overcompensate. My Android is better. I got twice the RAM and twice the processor because, like, you got to, like, you're going to make me feel like I'm less than because I don't have an iMessage bubble. Like, that shit's real. That shit is definitely real.
And you know what? I agree with you because I've heard that. I've heard that say, okay, I text somebody from my Android phone. So I pick up my dinosaur here and have some fun with this phone. And I text somebody and it goes to my iPhone and they don't. If it's not a blue bubble, they don't rock with it.
Nope. Nope. No response for you.
Yep.
On with life. You know, one of the things where I hate Apple. But one of the things a lot of people don't take into consideration when you're talking about Apple and why they're so strong as a brand, it's the Apple Store.
Oh, yeah.
There's a place to go.
Yes.
When your phone doesn't work. Like, now, again, going back to my XDA developer roots, I don't know if you do you remember Expenses?
Yeah.
I'd get on there and spend my $800, get my phone imported. And when that shit breaks, you can hear your heart breaking along with it. You don't even know where to begin to get this thing fixed. It's going to cost you half of what you paid, which is the price of another phone. Like, having a store where someone can go is a big deal. And we're not talking tech guys. We're talking consumers.
Yes.
We can't compete with that. This is why the consumer will always buy an iPhone, blue bubble or not, best camera or not. They just want to go someplace and then be like, look, listen, I'm an idiot to this. I paid for it. You fix it. And that's what they get at the Genius Bar, even though these people are not geniuses, right? And then there's also a beautiful showcase of every other silly product that they want to sell you.
Yep.
It's hard to beat that.
Hey, you know what? And I actually made a few videos about this. I had two things that happened to me. I had my MacBook Pro, my daughter MacBook Pro went out. She won't tell me what happened. Okay. Got on my iPhone and I made an appointment. And I shot the whole video, even inside the Apple Store. I shot this whole video. And I bought my Mac to the Genius Bar. They took it. The guy came out about 20 minutes later and said, hey, listen, we're going to take care of it. Come back in a few hours. I decided to go back the next day. They came back, give me my MacBook, said, have a good day. I'm like, wait, this MacBook like 5 years old. Mm-hmm. They fixed it for free. Mm-hmm. And it's like, wait a minute, I ain't got to pay nothing. They fixed it for free. Same thing with an iPhone. iPhone start having issues. Bring it, set up an appointment, go to the Genius Bar, give me iPhone. Listen, I just swapped out multiple iPhones with no questions asked, no strings attached. They say, they just bring you a box and they sit there and they transfer all your and they transfer all your contacts and everything. Yeah, you're good to go.
1000%.
Yeah. And so when you talk about customer service, if I break my glass on the iPhone, they got so many places in Louisiana where I can get my iPhone fixed in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, and so when you when you look at the customer service, they fix you. I mean, think about it. You pay $2,500 for a MacBook Pro 4 years ago, and they still fix it to this day for free.
That's dope.
I mean, you can't even bring it. You can't try to do that in the Microsoft store. Right, yeah. You bring a Windows Vista to a Microsoft store and say, "Hey, can you fix this for me?" They're gonna give you the middle finger to you to go buy a new computer.
Yep, most of the people that work in the Microsoft store wasn't alive when Vista was out. They were like, "What is that? Are you sure that's an authentic Microsoft product?"
And so I look at that. You know, if I break my Galaxy Note 8, break my Galaxy S9, and I bought it from Samsung unlocked. I can't bring it to AT&T or T-Mobile and tell them, hey, could you swap this out for me? Yeah. No, I got to send it to Samsung for 6 to 8 weeks so they can fix it. And what I'm going to do without a phone? I mean, yeah, I'm a tech reviewer. I got phones. But what about the average consumer? Like, I mean, they, you know, because you could get it cheaper from Samsung, right? If you want to buy it out, like, you know, or you could trade in your old Galaxy phone to get a few $100 off, you know, if you're not going on a payment plan. But if you buy it unlocked, you're screwed. Just think about it. You pay $1,200 from an eBay seller and buy a P20 Pro, and in 4 months something go wrong with it. Who you send it to? Xing Qing China?
It's time to go to church and become religious. So you got, baby. You need that faith. No, you know what's interesting? Steve Jobs figured this out from day one. I mean, you know, there were always the rumors that he shopped Verizon first, and Verizon told him go fuck himself, and he ended up at AT&T. But part of the deal was Steve was always like, "Nah, man, no. You know, next year we're gonna be selling unlocked phones, and I don't want you dealing with this. Somebody got a problem, find the Apple store, we'll fix it. I don't want you to do nothing with it." And from day one, you call AT&T 611. Hi, my iPhone's dropping calls, because that's what iPhones did, right? Oh, well, you got to make an appointment with the Genius Bar. Day one, they figured that out.
Yeah.
And that was to no one's benefit but the consumer.
Yeah.
That's all that is. And it's even stronger now. I feel like you know, I live in New York, so I'm not exactly the best case study, but I feel like most people in America can find an Apple store within an hour drive of you. And an hour or 2 hour drive to get your phone fixed that you rely on every day, I think it's worth it.
And you know what's so funny? 9 times out of 10, they'll fix it for you the same day, or they give you a replacement. That's the whole thing. It's like, you know, go walk in the ball
right there. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll make a decision right then and there. Hey, look, I mean, it's still under warranty. And I didn't know this, but I believe Apple, no matter what PC you have, they warranty the software no matter what. I don't care. They will warranty that software. So if you have a software issue, they will fix it. That's how I got my 5-year-old computer fixed, because it was considered a software issue. So they just
they formatted it.
Yeah, they just reformatted it and put the newer version, and they updated to when with Sierra, High Sierra, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know? So
that's cool. That's cool. But fuck Apple. I don't, you know. I don't want anyone who's coming late to the party like, oh, this is the Apple fanboy party. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Well, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, I think, you know, Samsung is with the Galaxy S9 is probably trying to change the game a little bit. I mean, look, they put in a lot of RAM, they put in the good software, they got a beautiful, this awesome body style. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I
love it. I mean, I deal with it. I have part of the thing. I have a 7S as my work phone.
Yeah.
So by default, I'm not. You know, that's what I support at work. I'm an IT professional, so I support iOS, right? With the AirWatch MDM, and I'm not buying as a tech guy, you don't want two of the same phones.
Right.
So by default, I'm over on the Android side, right? If I had to make a decision for my personal self, I would probably get an iPhone, because there's something very real about the apps are better on iOS. I mean, you look at Snapchat, even to this day, Instagram, you know, we got a huge presence on Instagram, and Instagram is better on iOS, right? You can pinch and zoom and all these things on the stories on Instagram or iOS. You can on Android. So little things like that, like you remove yourself from the conversation as a tech person and say, as a consumer, what is best for me and the tools that I need to run my business? It's usually Apple.
Yeah,
that's sad to say, but you know, Samsung's coming. They're coming along. They're throwing raw hardware spec.
Yeah,
and beautiful design at the consumer, and it's working, right?
Yeah,
but iOS is iOS.
Yeah, I mean, so I think at the end of the day, you know, I think in 2018, I think we looking at Android, it just following the iOS trend with the iPhone and stuff like that, and I think Samsung is probably going to be the leader of the pack. We think that the Galaxy Note 9 going to be expensive ass phone. We know that we're hearing that the Google Pixel will probably have a notch. So I think this is going to be 2018. I don't know anybody else going to be a breakthrough product. Now, we're starting to hear supposed to be the Galaxy X with the foldable display to come out. Now, we had the butterfly phone, which was the ZTE phone. We had the butterfly phone that just didn't work out. But I think, yeah. And so I think that's going to be 2018. But you know what is so strange about 2017? That they all gave up Android gave up on tablets. I mean, iOS just took over with the iPad, and all of them just threw in the towel. And so now in 2018, we don't see no tablets. We don't see nothing. Android just gave up on tablets because iOS just took over. What happened to tablets? I mean, I really did like the Samsung Note tablets. That was dope. I was in college with that thing, man. That thing got me through college. I love that thing. I love pulling out that pen and doing all that stuff. And all of a sudden, no new versions of it. You know, oh man.
I'll tell you what. Take a drink of my bourbon. I'll tell you what. when you've been hating Apple as long as I have, you see these trends. And now what disgusts me about the industry now is we're seeing the industry chasing Apple, when in fact, you should know that Apple doesn't have the ability to lead the industry because their entire game is innovation. Yeah. Innovation is not invention. Two completely different things. Apple relies on someone else to put their balls on the line. The first Indian over the hill. And then Apple says, oh, well, that didn't work. He got shot down in 2 seconds. Let's figure something out a little better. And then they come in and they steamroll everything else. That's Apple.
Yeah.
Right. You mentioned you went through college with a Galaxy tablet, and those were super dope tablets, right?
Yeah.
They were thinner, lighter. The displays were out of this world.
Oh, yeah.
Hardware to power a jet. Like these things were for real.
Yeah.
But I want to take you back to 2003, 2002. What got me through college was an Acer tablet PC edition.
Okay.
I had one of the foldable collapsible screens with a pen. I was using OneNote. People's like, oh, I missed. Can you send me? I'd email them the notes of the class, not only the notes of my terrible handwriting, but also the voice notes of the teachers talking in the interaction. Yes. This is in 2013. So when Apple announced the iPad first, I thought it was an incredibly feminist thing to call something. Right? It was like, what the fuck? I went crazy on Facebook when they released it. And I'm like, wait a minute. I relied on Apple for innovation. They made classy iterations to what came before them. And you take all the functionalities I had in tablet PC with the OneNote, and they completely omitted all of it and just gave us a large iPhone.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what? And then people started to like walk around with these things like, no, a tablet, the iPad is not a mobile device. This thing stays in your house. And people would argue me. I said, okay, cool. And I would give people would buy iPads all the time. And they would, people like to troll me at work when they found out I was a big nerd. And they'd be like, oh, I got that new iPad. What do you think? I'm like, yeah, go fuck yourself. And then I give them like 2 months, right? Yeah. And then I'd say, hey, can I see your iPad for a second? I want to check out this app. Oh, it's at home. Where is it? Oh, it's at home. That thing hasn't left the house. So how is that a mobile device? It's not. It's not. So that was always my thing about tablets is people wanted it. I mean, you come to New York, you see tourists standing on the corner taking pictures with an iPad because they believe, because they can see the preview screen bigger. They believe it's a better picture. And I'm just like, you people, this is someone's boss on vacation somewhere. Like this person is responsible for like running some. So a lot of that conversation about tablets, I think tablets were a niche product from the get-go.
Yeah.
When you didn't feel like it's a content consumption device. This thing is not here for you to feverishly troll people on Facebook. You can't type on an iPad.
Right.
This is what your phone is for, or get your ass on your laptop or your PC. It's meant for you on the couch. Maybe you got an app to control your Roku. Maybe you have, you're watching YouTube videos or you're reading something on your pocket or the New York Times. That's what it's for. Yeah. And as screens got bigger, which is what iPhone did with the Plus, right? And this is why you saw a dip in sales on iPads, because all people ever wanted was a bigger phone, and and Apple finally broke. And then there's the Android tablets. So the tablet market itself, I think, and the tablet market I always associate to just iPad, because it was always the best of them. It was just simple. It would last 20 days on a battery charge or some crazy shit like that, right? And then you attach Android and the madness behind Android. And like they changed the UI for the for Android tablets like 5 times.
Yeah, yeah.
They had no direction on how this thing was supposed to work. So every time you would pick up a new Android tablet, you're like, wait, how does this work?
Yeah.
I don't even understand what apps can I get? What can I do? And it all together, I think just tablets are just like, we're over it now.
Well, the big thing that happened with tablets was it was no updates. They just gave up on it. I mean, they gave you one version of that tablet, and they never gave you updates. So tablets would be running what, Marshmallow, or
that was it.
That was it. That was it. You don't get.
That's all you got.
You wouldn't get none of that. You got Marshmallow or older version of the OS, and that was it. So, like, if you pick up a Galaxy Note tablet right now, I mean, it's running like Android 5 or something. It's not. It's done.
Terrible.
And that's a shame. Now,
beautiful.
Let me tell y'all something. Back then, I'm in college with a split screen going on. I'm taking notes on one side, and I got the internet on the other side. I'm talking like 2013. Oh my God, and it was so funny when you mentioned recording your professor as you was writing with the notes. You was able to do that with the note tablets. Nice. As I was writing, the professor was talking, and it was doing voice recording at the same time as I was taking notes. And it was so funny. And I log into my Samsung account to this day. I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages of written documents of my whole college history that's saved online digitally. Oh my God, that thing was the truth.
Yeah.
Now, Samsung came out with the Galaxy Tab 3, which has the functionality of, the pen, but it just didn't remind me of the Note.
I don't know. The Note is such an amazing, the Note, to me, that was what put Samsung on my map. Because I never gave a shit about Samsung. As a Windows Phone guy, I had allegiance to 2 companies, Nokia and HTC.
Oh, yeah. And
if you ain't talking to either one of them, then just get out of my feed. But when I saw the Note, this is what was around? What were the other phones around when the Note came out? HTC had like the Desire.
Here we go. I'm gonna pinpoint 2 of them to you right here.
Nothing was close to the size of the Note.
Right.
What is in your hand? Why is your phone so bad? You're like, you don't get it, baby. You don't get it. You don't understand it. And not only was it a big ass screen, it had more RAM than the laptops of the day. Look at that thing.
And you know what? That's why I'm such in love with 16:9 aspect ratios. I love, because I say this, writing from left to right, you need that real estate. This was the perfect size for a Note.
Agreed.
Oh my God, this was
That's such a legendary phone. And it also came at the time when Steve Jobs said, "Oh, you don't need a stylus.
Right.
Use your finger." Like, shut up. Samsung knocked that thing. I often, actually, there's a video on the channel where the last Note that came out, I pretty much said that shit sucked. They didn't have the spirit of a Note. The spirit of a Note was hardware specs that were a year and a half away for everyone else.
Yeah.
The last Note was so similar to the S9, and it was just like, well, what? Just a camera and extra 2 gigs of RAM that I don't really need right now? Like, usually when you see the Note, I'll never forget, you would see every other phone being announced. You'd be like, yeah, that's cool. That's nice. Where's that Note? Yeah. Like, you just had to know, where's that Note? Because the Note is going to blow everyone out the mark. Spec-wise, screen-wise, it still got the pen, all the new features. Samsung like to do a bunch of crazy things. When you look at your phone, it wakes up and says, good morning, all types of stupid shit. The Note was just going to be the perfect phone. And
it changed up after the Note 7.
Yeah.
After the Note 7, things changed out. I mean, you look at, oh my God, the perfect Note, and people don't know this. The perfect Note was the Note Edge. It was a Note 4, but it's Note Edge. Remember the Note Edge?
Yeah, with just the one side. It had
With the one side. Yes, that's what the Edge screen came from, because they had it on the edge.
That was the big experiment. It was dope.
Man.
It was dope. Because even to this day, right? The edge on the S6 edges were so pronounced.
Yeah.
It was like, well, why do you need two edges? Right? Because the one edge on the Note was so perfect. Like, that's dope. That's dope. But I don't know. Samsung, I think they lost their way when it comes to the embodiment of the Note.
You know what? And the thing about it, when I went to the Galaxy Note 8 event, and when as they was doing the keynote address, they were just talking about phone features. They didn't talk about Note in business, right? That and to me, I think they lost their way when they bought DeX to the Galaxy S8, because the Note is the business machine. This is the
been a feature
one.
for that. I agree.
It should have been a feature just for the Note, but they bought it with the Galaxy S8. I think that was a big mistake. And now, since the new DeX coming out with the Galaxy S9, again, a big mistake. I think the Note should be a category of its own, but now Samsung has kind of made the Note, it's just a Note. It's not with a pen.
Yeah, it's just about the pen, and then they don't even sell the pen features the way they should be selling it. So what the hell's the point of this? You might as well save yourself $300 and get the regular S9 Plus or whatever.
Yeah.
What's the difference between it? It's $250 difference or something like that?
Yeah, it's about a $200 difference. So if the Galaxy S9 costs what, $800, then we know that the Galaxy Note 8 right now is still running $900 plus.
Bonkers.
So if the Galaxy Note 8 right now is still running $900 plus, we will know for a fact that the Galaxy Note 9 will be above $1,000 price point for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that in itself is an admittance that the Note, as of late, is a failure. Because usually when the next version of the S9 or the Galaxy S phone is launched, the previous Note is still better than that.
Right.
Hardware-wise. You know what I mean? Like, the only reason for you to buy the S was, the Note screen is too big for me.
Yes.
That was the only reason you didn't get the Note. Now it's like, no, it's the same. You go in the store and you see the Note 8 next to the Galaxy S9 Plus, you better not buy that Note 8. You better not.
And there you go, right here, 64 gig Galaxy Note 8, $950, man.
Boy, oh boy.
$950 for a Galaxy Note 8. And so, I mean, that is insane. That price is just bonkers right now. For $950. I mean, if you want to get $300 off, you got to trade in. But that is the price. So when you see the Galaxy Note 9, 64 gigabyte and you got to be kidding me, right? You got phones that cost $400 that's giving you 128 gigs.
That's what I'm talking about. The word Note to me means it is a market leader in every single spec.
Yeah.
RAM, internal storage, processor, display size, display resolution. Not anymore.
Oh man, the Galaxy. You know what? And that's the thing. Where's my Galaxy Note? I got so many phones sitting in front of me here. I don't know. All right, here we go. Right here is the icon of it all. Right here. This is what Samsung is doing right now. 18:9 aspect. Look how small and skinny that screen is.
Yeah.
Now this is where we used to have 16:9, and this is where we at. And so, man, I've always been an advocate is that you need real estate going from left to right, especially when you're writing.
1,000%.
And the Galaxy Note with the 18:9 aspect ratio, don't get me wrong, I love it, but it kills the experience. Samsung need to go back to the roots. Here's the roots right here. Now I know we're not going to get this. I know we ain't gonna get this no more.
Oh my God, talk about it.
We ain't getting this no more. But I think Samsung need to get to their roots. Need to market and maybe the Note ain't selling like they used to be. I mean, hell, I don't know. I mean, maybe BlackBerry could come out with a pen, and all of a sudden now this might be the phone. You got the keyboard, you got a pen software. I mean,
is that your daily driver?
Actually, I love this phone. I've been working with it for a while. But I've been kind of switching over between the Galaxy S7, which is my favorite phone by far, Galaxy S7 Edge, and this phone is been my two daily drivers, along with the Note. But my Note always kind of stay in decks. You know, I've been using it as a PC. I don't know.
I've never even touched that feature.
Oh yeah, it works great. It works really good. It works very, very good. Dex works good, but you have to have like with me. I type a lot. I do a lot of Excel spreadsheets.
Right.
I do a lot of typing, and I need a bigger camera. So I use a Bluetooth keyboard, Bluetooth mouse. It syncs in real good with Android, and it works very well. And on a bigger canvas, it works good. But I think that's where this is where BlackBerry should have been on top of their game, actually, because I mean, this is a productivity device. BlackBerry didn't put enough power in it, but that's another story. This is a productivity device. It could have kept up with the Note if it would have gave you a stylus with it. Maybe there could have been a direction, but I don't know. They want to stick to more of a typing experience versus a touch experience. I don't know. Let's see. How do you keep the S7 Edge from being laggy? Listen,
you don't.
I got videos on my YouTube channel that shows the Galaxy S7 Edge outperform the Galaxy S8 in so many ways. I love my Galaxy S7 Edge. Watch my YouTube channel. I got plenty of videos of me talking about the Galaxy S7 Edge, also with the Galaxy S6 Edge, comparing cameras between the Galaxy S7 Edge and the Galaxy S8. That will surprise the shit out you. I promise you. I got video. Oh yeah, I did a review, camera review with the Galaxy S7.
The only difference is the video, right? It was a little less detail in the video.
Yeah, and that's it. But man, you're talking about you could buy a Galaxy S7 Edge, what, $200, $250 compared to $1,000.
That's my argument with my complaint about Samsung. The only way I found to get that thing running right was and this was before I figured out like package disablers and shit like that. So you can go that route as well and kill a lot of that Samsung stuff and even some of the carrier stuff, and that would definitely help. But I would just hard reset it like once a month maybe, and that would get it back to running. But it would always still degrade. But my thing about Samsung and the bootloader madness is that S7 Edge Plus or whatever one you have would be the prime example of Android being Android. Like, let me just get a custom ROM on there.
Yeah.
And that phone would be perfect, because even up to this day, you look at that hardware, it's a beautiful device. The camera's still capable. There's nothing wrong with that phone. You know what I mean? But I don't know.
So shouts out to everybody that joined the stream today. I see everybody, a lot of comments and everything, and we've been talking a lot of tech tonight, and we're gonna get out of here in a minute, but let's talk one last thing about the Pixel. What happened to the Pixel 2 and the Pixel 2 XL with these screens? Because that was a big factor when them phones first came out, that the screen was terrible. And then here come December, they released another version of the Pixel 2 with a new screen on it. And because they got slammed out there in the tech world with the screens.
Yeah, they did.
So you think that the Pixel 3 is going to fix some of all that shortcomings of this Pixel 2 and the Pixel 2? Because right now we start to see because the Pixel 1 has been discontinued. They done with that phone. So the only phone I think you can buy that's new from Google is the Pixel 2 and the Pixel 2 XL. But now we're hearing the rumors about the Pixel 2 because people love their stock Android. They just absolutely love stock Android. Every time they turn around, this stock Android, but they went away from this. But they go into the no Pixel thing. What you think about this Pixel 3?
Kind of going back to the concept we spoke about of what's important to you. Like I declared specifically so that I don't care about the updates. I mean, it sucks to watch a newer version of Android be released and knowing that I won't be able to get that on my Samsung. I pretty much got to buy a new phone. Whatever, I'll buy the new phone. I think there's some of that going on over in the Pixel world where Who the hell cares that the screen is off because they get those updates?
Right. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I agree with
That's
you.
if you know so much about a Pixel, then it means that you're looking for a solution to a problem that you have, which is piss poor UI over your phone from various manufacturers. I'm not just talking Samsung. Or you're just tired of dealing with the madness from whatever OEM, and you end up at a Pixel. Do you really care that your display is not as vibrant as a phone that you will never see in your life, or have the chance to have your phone next to it and say, "Wait a minute, what's wrong with my blue?" You know, I don't think so. And then to be able to commit to the phone, you're obviously in a world where you're in a place where you don't mind spending $900 for a premium experience. So maybe it sucks that the phone is not bulletproof at the price point, but at the end of the day, you know, I think if my red is a little less red and I don't have to deal with Samsung and the just disrespect they have for updating their phones, then it's okay.
So I, you know what? I was the same way. I'm thinking, okay, I'll pay a little more for Pixels because at least for one, every time Google come out with their intended software, Pixel owners will always be the first to get it.
For sure.
And so once we get the new iteration of which is Peppermint Patty or Peanut or whatever is going to be Android P, glorious Pixel fans is going to get it first. We're going to be like, I got my update. I ain't worried about y'all. I see y'all in 2020. I see y'all in 2020 when y'all get y'all 9.0, and I got my 9.0 2 years before y'all got y'all 9.0. And I think that's what you're going to see. And it goes back to the second argument. With Android, you can make your phone look like any other phone out there. So you can make a Pixel look like any phone you want.
All hail Nova Launcher.
Yeah, that's right, Nova Launcher. Hey, look, I got Nova Launcher on my Galaxy S8. Got my Nova Launcher on all my Samsung phones.
Yeah.
So
I think Ace has a very good point. He said in the chat that the Pixel users are beta testers, whether they like it or not. And I think it's very much so. You pay a premium to be a part of that world. And when you're on the bleeding edge of technology, this is the shit that happens. Sometimes you get a short stick and your display sucks. And what I will tell you is, being in the Samsung ecosystem for the last 2 years, it's pulled me out of a lot of the nerdiness in Android. And what I mean by that is, the day I got my S9 Plus and I traded back in my S8 Plus, I damn near couldn't tell you what was new on the phone other than the camera. So just setting up the phone, setting up my Nova launcher, getting everything back to where it was. I don't know what the hell is new. I mentioned earlier in the stream that OK Google works on my Samsung without being charged, without being plugged in, because that was a thing. Only Pixel devices would work without the phone being plugged. So earlier today, I was like, oh shit, OK Google works and my phone's not charging. And it's so much of these Android features that you see in the presentation for the new version of Android that we don't get. And in the Samsung world, when you get the phone, you're not even aware of these features are there. Like, you forgot. I don't know. They announced this new version of Android 13 months ago. I don't remember every feature. Now, when I go into Google, to the OK Google stuff, there's routines. I can, with one keyword, it can tell me the weather, read and start playing a podcast. Like, wait, was this a part of Android 8.0? Yes, it was, but I forgot because it was a year ago since I saw that feature announced. And, paying a little, should I go over to a Pixel? Maybe I should. But the problem is AT&T doesn't sell a Pixel.
Right.
So, oh well.
Right. So you would have to get unlocked Pixel.
And I'm not paying an outright crazy price for it. I'm American, baby. I'm paying everything on a monthly basis. What's up? What's up?
And you know what? It was so funny. I have a lot of people that's from overseas, and us in the United States, we get that privilege of paying monthly, for our phones. I feel bad for overseas, and they don't get those privileges that we get. If a phone costs $1,000, you got to pay that $1,000 for a phone. And so, yeah, we are definitely in the United States. We definitely privileged when it comes down to, you could walk into AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile with $50 and you could get almost any phone you want.
Yeah, Nokia can say what they want. They better thank Microsoft that we love them the way we do, because if it wasn't for Microsoft, Nokia would have never. What? Man, I don't care about no $600. No. At that time, a Nokia would have been $250.
Yeah.
Nah, son, I want this $800 phone. You know what I mean? As what we do, we need to recognize people outside of America. These people don't have this option to pay. They didn't even have the ability to pay for a subsidized phone, which means you get locked in for 2 years and you only pay $400 for the phone. People were watching iPhone reviews. Man, this phone is so nice, but I'm not spending $700 to get it. And you'd be like, why not? Oh, because you got to pay that out front.
You got to pay it out front. Yep.
That's 850 euro. Nah, I'm not with it. Me now today, I don't care what they do with that P20. As dope as I think it is, you ain't getting that money out of me. You know what $1,200? Yo, $1,200 is a nice. That's an ECU for my car. That buys me another 30 to 40 horses.
But that's
good
rent.
with the Samsung.
That's too much rent for most people, man.
Yo, what? Look, that is my portion of the rent, by the way. Welcome to New York.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you in New York.
You only pay rent for this goddamn phone that don't know what color blue is? I'm not with it.
Yeah.
It ain't happening.
And that's what I'm talking about, man. Hey, look, when people say, well, you can buy it on eBay. And I went on eBay. I said, let me check out this P20, even though I don't even know if it's going to work in the United States. Because guess what? Huawei is kind of in trouble, right?
Exactly.
So I actually emailed Huawei, and Huawei sent me an email back and said that the P20 was not, it's not going to come to the United States or whatever. But you can still get it and import it. The problem is, same thing with some of these other overseas phones that I make videos for. No LTE support, no band support, none of that support. So it's running on edge. So my thing is, if I paid $1,200-$1,400 for a P20, will it work in the United States? And I have saw no tech reviewers yet.
No one's gonna say that. No, why not? Because they get the phone for free. They ain't talking about that shit. If you got to go to like gsmarena.com, because they always list the band spec, the frequency.
Yeah.
And you gotta search that on XDA. What frequency, man, is T-Mobile? Oh, that's a 1900. And if you buy anything but 1900, you're fucked. And then there's some fuckboy in the comments, not true, because I bought one. It was 1900 and I only got GSM. Well, yeah, but you live in Montana and there's no cell phone signal where you live anyway. So like, you don't know what to believe. You know what? I'm just not buying it. I'm done here. I'm going to get an iPhone. I know that shit works and that's good for me.
And you know what? Every iPhone will have every band.
Something else Steve Jobs figured out that the rest of the industry can't, by the way.
So the question is why they don't put the bands in it. We know because of the processors, right? Some of the MediaTek processors, some of the Kirin processors, don't support the bands. The modems that they use don't support the bands. And then in the United States, we got to get the Snapdragon processors. See, that's the thing. That's Snapdragon is FCC approved in the United States. But that's why we see Snapdragon processors in the United States, and y'all in overseas get the Exynos processors and the Kirin processors and the high-end MediaTek processors, because us in the United States, even though we might get privileged in one thing, but we get slapped by Snapdragon with their crappy processors sometimes. So
I think it's somebody told me something about this, but my eyes glazed over because it's such a boring topic to begin with. But I think it's about legislation. And if you would put a certain band, you'd have to get like a certain certification, or I guess it's I don't even know how to describe it, but you pretty much got to approach every government who supports that band, say, hey, here's my phone, here's my blueprint, do you approve? And a lot of smaller companies just like, we ain't got time for that shit. Fuck America, we sell in China. And you know, Apple's Apple. Here, you know, whatever. Here's some money under the table. I need you to fast track my application. Samsung does it as well. So something along those lines. Don't quote me because that's the super nerdy shit that I don't care to get into. But it's definitely a lot more complex than it seems on the back end, and it's just a smaller guy being screwed over for not having the capital to play with the big boys.
That's it. That's it. Oh man, let's get out of here, man. Look, I'm gonna let you have the ending topic. Oh, promote your channel one more time, and I am going to show your channel again. I appreciate you coming out, man. Everybody,
I appreciate the invite, man. I was very humbled to receive that from you. Thank you so much again.
Yes, go. Look, you look like you're picking up some subs here, man.
Oh shit! Thank you guys. Thank you, Ace. You know, let me tell you something. There's a saying in Brooklyn, probably the Bronx, real recognized real. I love the way this man is in there in the chat room tearing it up, son. Troll hard and troll forever. You know, people think trolling is a problem. Trolling is an educated man's game. So I like the homie Ace in the chat room, and back. You got a really strong community, and I thank you guys for having me, and I thank you for the subs. And you know, reach out, man. I'm always here. This has been fun for sure, and I always love to be a part of things.
Yeah, man, and it's always a pleasure, man, to try to get new people on there, man. And like I said earlier, man, I watch your channel a lot. And look, before we came on the air, I give him his intro. If y'all know him, Ramon always said, "What's up, beautiful people? This your man,
What's
Ramon.
Up, beautiful people? You fuck my Apple fans. Just like this video right now, you bitch. I'm talking about you."
Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. So if y'all want to hear some Apple hate, go on and check out Ramon and Lifestyle Define.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Yes. All right. This is Eric from Easy Computer Solutions. Don't forget about every Wednesday. We got Wine Wednesday. Got the lovely ladies, the VIPs gonna be in the building. It's Lady Takeover every Wednesday night right here on this YouTube channel. And don't forget about every Saturday night where I do my best to try to get all the guests on, and we have us some fun every Saturday night right here on this YouTube channel. Thank y'all guys very much for coming. And if you are new to the YouTube channel, please subscribe to me. Please go to Ramon Lifestyle Defined. I got his link down in the description below, and go check him out. The realest person out there. Believe me, if you want to hear some dope tech and no BS, check him out. He's got a nice YouTube channel. And yes, shout out to everybody that came through. And y'all guys know how to hit me up. But watch my channel, watch his channel, watch everybody's channel. See y'all guys Wednesday and Saturday. Peace.